Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to Cypress Bonsai. Today I'm going to work on this bald cypress. When I got this tree, I totally changed the front because I wanted to accent the two knees. And the front that the tree had when I got it, the knees were in the back. And also if you look, the pot is skewed, so it's not perfectly straight in the pot either. But this is the front I want. So next winter I will repot it into a larger pot and place it so that this is the front. And then I chose the first two main branches, which are still in there. They're kind of hiding. These guys right here. And then I cut the top, but I allowed the top over the last 6 months to just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. So if we pan out, this baby is a good 4 feet high. But most of that's coming off. The reason I did that was because I wanted the thickness of this piece to be at least half the thickness of this piece. If I didn't do that, then it would always look contrived. You want to, I try to make sure that when I do a cutback and regrow a new leader, that it grows adequately to look natural. If you have a little tiny leader, and if you go back and look at the very first video of this guy, this thing was very thin, about like that thin, maybe a little bit bigger. So that's why I let it grow like crazy. And now I'm going to cut it back. I'm going to cut it back to here. And then I'm going to use this leader, which comes this way, and I'm going to bring it up as the new leader, and then I'm going to cut it back. So you'll see. I'm going to cut some stuff off because it's just in the way of the camera. And it's coming off anyway. I'm real happy with the growth of these smaller limbs. None of them have really gotten crazy as far as growing out too far. This guy here is a little bit. I'm not left-handed, so I'm holding the camera with my right hand. And then we've got some incidental growth down here, none of which needs to stay. The first main branches are this one and this one. And you notice I've got some growth directly below the second main branch, so it's coming off. I can reduce the main branches too, a little bit. And then I'm not going to let that top grow like I did, because I'm pretty happy with this proportion from this guy to this guy. And of course it's going to continue to grow, fill in. All this small stuff here will be the top branches. This is going to be what's called in the immature formal upright. So very triangular, like an isosceles triangle. So coming up like this, and then coming up the same way on the other side. So if we pan out again, and let me put the camera down. Oops. Maybe do this a little bit. So all this little stuff here all needs to fill in. The first main branches are actually a little bit too long. So I'm going to start with those. If you notice, this branch here is shooting straight down. And so I'm going to take it off. I'm going to take it off. Here's a branch above. And this first main branch is actually pretty nice. It's got a nice pad starting. So I'm just going to shorten it a little bit. This one too, I'm going to take these guys off that are below the second main branch. And then I'm going to take this downward growth and then shorten it like that. And then shorten here too. So that will be first main branch into here. And then I'm going to cut all of this growth that came below first and second main branch, because none of that's going to be part of the design. And then the top, I'm not really sure how I'm going to do the top. I don't really have something that's lower. And I can't raise the camera. The camera's as high as it goes on a tripod. So let me see if I can work something out here. So here's the top, and I'm going to cut this whole piece off right here. And then I'm going to wire this leader up. And then once I get it up, then I'll decide where I want to cut it. Trying not to crush any of these small little branches here, because they are going to be the future branches. Okay, then let's bring it up. You always want to use both your thumbs where you're bending. That looks pretty good. And it's a formal upright, but it's going to probably have a little bit of curvature, but that's not that big of a deal. And then we're going to cut this baby right there. So right away it already looks so much better. And I'm going to put it back up on the bench. I found a stool that I could put it on to make it shorter. So I'm going to put it back up on the bench and then probably do a little bit more, just minor tweaking. Here we are back on the bench, and it's still a little too tall to include the knees. You see there's one knee just poking right here. But I wanted to show the top, so it ends right here. And now we're going to have a tree like this. It'll grow some. I'm going to still do a little bit of tweaking. I'm going to take that guy off there. Get the correct tools. Those are for larger limbs. Take that guy off. Shorten this guy. This one here is a little big, so I'm going to shorten him. And I'm really happy with these smaller limbs. If you look at the very first video, you'll see that I took off huge limbs. There's a scar right there of some of the huge limbs, and they were all like that. They were all as thick as a pencil, and I just did not like that at all. So right away you see the top is just right there. Now we just have to envision a tree where all the foliage is up like this on either side. But I didn't want this to come out too far, too soon, because then the branches would be too thick again. So now I'm going to work these guys, but don't really see all this small growth that all emerged since the first time that I cut off all the large limbs and changed the front. I don't see them elongating this year all that much. But if I do start to get excess growth, then I will trim them back. They don't need to come out here within the next 6 months. They need to grow and then be cut back and grow and be cut back, and then they'll have the ramification that will make the tree look so much more mature. And right now I'm not going to worry about placement. There's a lot of little guys in here. You know, do I keep this guy, this sort of an eye-poking branch, and all up in here, and then I've got the smaller limbs on the new leader, and then I'm expecting new growth to pop on this little tiny piece that I just wired up as the top of the leader. So there's some, and I don't know if you can hear them, but the frogs are happy because it rained, and it's finally started raining. It's almost the middle of July, and the rainy season normally starts the 1st of June, but we've still been pretty dry. But we finally begun to get good rain. So I'm really looking forward to this guy. I think he's going to be a cool tree. I'm looking at least 2 more years. And then from there, it'll just be refinement, 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 refinement. And in 5 or 6 years, it could be just spectacular. At least in my opinion. I'm gonna like it for sure. I'm loving the process right now. There's nothing wrong with the patience of taking steps towards the finished tree, knowing that it's still going to take a certain period of time. That's basically how I do bonsai. Sometimes I get in a hurry, and in fact, I have some trees last year about this time that I just stuck into bonsai pots way too soon, premature bonsai potting. And I'm going to feature them very shortly here, and you'll see what I mean. But hey, sometimes it happens. So if you like this video on this bald cypress, please give me a thumbs up. I'm going to give this guy a chop, going straight down. Chop. Leave a comment if you'd like. And that's it for this video. It took a lot of that top off, but I really wanted that proportionality. So I had to let this guy grow crazy in order to get thick enough for it to look natural. And I still haven't done the gin in the back, but we'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.